It's Tuesday, May 27th, 2025. It's 9:30 a.m. and we're here for a monthly department head meeting. And it looks like we don't have very many department heads right this morning, so I'll open it up with Randy.
Just getting starting on our summer projects. I bought a pressure washer. I'm going to go around the building and see if I can't wash some of this black stuff off as much as I can. Get the front and the back repainted a little bit and touched up. Because we keep going up a little short on the budget to be able to get the whole thing done this year. I'll try to get it looking a little nicer. Got some repairs to do on this walkway going down to the basement. Other than that, just lots of honeydews.
How are we doing with the basement?
I'm sorry. I just put a call into the, I forget his name again, the Servpro guy, and because they were supposed to call me last week and let me know about scheduling. They got everything ready to go. They just got to schedule. And Panhandle Flooring is the ones that are going to come in and do it. They're going to do carpet squares, and they keep telling me they're going to restretch that DFB carpet. I'm going to sit there and watch them do that because that'll be a trick. It's rotten, but they said they can do it. They're going to take it up, put a new pad under it, and then put it back down. But
were you able to finish painting the public works that you'd started on?
Yes, I finished the walls of public works. The two walls that they started and didn't finish, I finished them up, and I'm going to go ahead and do the other ones too. Got the time, nobody's in there.
So it's all one color?
So it's all one color, yeah.
Those people are so picky. Appreciate you doing that.
I fixed the curtains for them, got that all squared away so it looks a little nicer in there. And got both the sump pumps are now replaced downstairs. The big ones that failed when we had the flood. They told them to build both of them, so they're working in. We shouldn't have any put an alarm on it again. I bought some alarms, but they weren't for the water like we had talked about around, but they weren't compatible with our system. So BJ's gonna look into some other ones.
Okay.
That we're supposed to put in.
Okay. All right. Now, what about the shrubs up front? I know we're getting questions like one was higher than the other. We'll let you tell the public that.
Okay. The reason why I didn't cut the other one is there's two bird nests in there. They're full baby birds right now, so I was just going to give them some time to finish their. Then I'm going to cut it.
Okay.
I started cutting it, and I got attacked by Robin Mama that wasn't very happy with me cutting her tree down. So I took a extension mirror up there, inspection mirror, and she had a bunch of eggs in there, so I just let them be.
Okay.
And so I figured out by the 1st of July they should be out there, and I'll cut them all down.
Okay.
But I tried to let everybody know. I missed a few folks, but
all right.
So they wouldn't ask me that question. But there you go.
So it's kind of an odd form of maternity leave.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it looks a lot nicer cut down square like that too. It doesn't look like it's going every which way out there. So.
Okay. All right. Is that?
That's it. I think.
Any other questions? Commissioner Rose? No? Roads.
Okay. Parks have opened. I think during the last meeting, we were just coming up to the parks opening. So June Bay Park and West Churchill Park are officially open, and people are coming in and having their reservations. Things seem to be going well. We've had some bumps and bobbles with staffing there, but we look to be ironing that out, and things seem to be functioning well at this point. So just a reminder, the parks are open 7 days a week from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. and any reservations that for the kitchens that need to be made can be made through the Public Works office. As far as the road department, working now that we're getting through some of this rain on some additional cold patching, looking this week at doing some additional patching of, they were up Pine Creek and now they're moving up to Old River Road. Some of those previous patches were coming out, which is pretty common when they're patched early in the year. So we're going to give some attention to that. Working on the process to select a supervisor for the Murray District. And so we've opened it up internally to accept interest over the next 2 weeks, and then we will be scheduling interviews. Our hope is to fill the position internally. And once we get that position filled, then we will move on to the supervisor opening in the Smelterville district. We'll do the same process, attempt to fill it internally. If not, if we don't have any suitable candidates or we don't have any interest in candidates, then we would at that point put it out to the public.
Okay, the supervisor in Smelterville's? Okay.
Yes. So Murray will be first because we've had an opening for a little while. We kind of let things calm down a little bit. And then I just posted that internally last Thursday. So, I believe on the 5th, and then, we'll kind of see who's applied and work on scheduling some interviews with them and do some panel interviews to fill that position. Once that's filled, then we'll move on to filling the small position. Until the new person is selected, we've always worked with the lead hand position, just assuming the supervisor duties until the position is filled. So they're basically our acting supervisor in the interim.
Okay.
Also working on some brush cutting, getting quite a bit of brush cutting done up on Moon Pass. We haven't done any brush cutting up there for several years, so we're taking advantage of some of the closures during the week to get up there and have full reign of the road, and that's been going pretty well. We've been making good progress with that. The Moon Pass project is going very well also. The Rock Supremacy, the company that's up there doing the work, is clipping right along. I do get at the end of each week a daily summary with photos from the engineering firm overseeing things, so I get kind of a day-by-day update what they're doing. And so they have finished all the scaling, they're moving some of the rock material, they have done some drilling, they're almost all the way done bolting right now, so they're clipping right along. We look to stay on schedule to have the Monday through Friday closures lifted at the end of June, which was right on schedule with what we planned with that.
Okay, so it'd be the end of June is when
things will open back up fully. For now, it's just Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 that the closure is happening. And the hard closure points are at the top of Moon Pass at the summit on the Wallace side, and then down at Bullion on the Avery side. So hard closure there, so people can still access, this side up to the top, and then, the Avery side up to Bullion. So, they can still use that during the closure times. And then, of course, in the evenings and mornings it's open, and then all weekend when we see the heavy.
Okay, so it's fully open on the weekends. They can drive over the pass. Okay.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, very busy. We've got some cameras up there for security because the equipment's still up there. Normally we've pulled the cameras by now, but we have been utilizing them, and you can just see the influx of recreational users. Everybody's happy that it's open. So we're good. We're pleased with that. I mentioned at the last meeting that there was going to be a public meeting on the Terror Gulch Bridge just outside of Osborne that's going to be replaced next year. It's in design this year. During the design period, we always have a public meeting to get public input. And so that meeting is scheduled for June 4th at the Osborne Fire Station from 5 to 7 p.m. And so we hope to get some turnout for that and get some good input. Prior to that, we have scheduled a stakeholder meeting, and when we talk about stakeholders, it's people with adjacent properties. People might be more heavily impacted. Law enforcement is invited. Emergency services are invited. So school district, we consider all of them to be, in that category. So that's our plan for the 4th. And other than that, we're just waiting on the SRS funds. We've all been following it really closely. The bill was lumped in with the big budget bill that they have going. It's rolled up into the one big beautiful bill. And so that is what we're keeping an eye on at this point. It's, over 1,100 pages long with everything that's wrapped up into that. It looks as though the House has moved it through. The Senate, the last update I got, they hope to see a vote on it before they break for their 4th of July break. So that would be helpful for us in planning for our department. Until then, just a reminder, we submitted our preliminary budgets to the clerk, and we submitted as if the SRS were going to be there, but we are working on a backup plan to submit a scaled down version of that in the event that the SRS does not go through. And in our department, we're just continuing to be very conservative until we know that that's going to happen.
Okay. Thank you. Grants lady.
So still just lots of spreadsheets and reading things. We do have our team right now, the opioid settlement, we received a grant from that to send our treatment team to RISE 25, which is a nationally renowned treatment court seminar. So they have 3 days with nationally recognized leaders in treatment court and substance use. And we do that every other year. So we have Christy, Jen, and then 2 of the Outside the Heritage Health ladies that are part of our treatment court that are in Florida this week. The site review, so every 3 years, ITD comes up and does a site review for our buses. They go over safety protocols, policies. They take a deep look at absolutely everything that we've got going on, and so that is scheduled for July. The review packet is in draft and over to Emma to review from the transportation side, and then her part of it. That's looking great. And then the Title VI plan that they have requested, ITD has requested, is in Ben's office, and got that finished and sent to his office for review to make sure that it's in compliance, and then that'll come before you guys after they've had a chance to look at it. And our BTA, so the Broadband Technical Assistance Grant that we received from USDA, we are going out asking people to do a survey, and so I'll be sending out an email departmentally. I'm being careful about where we send that out because we don't want just random information. We want genuinely quality information, so I'm sending it out to businesses, internal emails. In the county, I'm asking everywhere if you have people that live in all the gulches to complete the survey. So I'm asking that everybody to review that one because it will help us a lot. We're concentrating through this technical assistance is how do we get infrastructure or connectivity to the places that are not along the I-90 corridor, because there's options along the I-90 corridor for fiber and different things. But when you get off those some of the gulches, and you have limited options, and just kind of the pathway that the feed is taking, and some of the technology developments that are happening. We just really wanted to have good data to present with ISPs and some of the things that are coming our direction. So just a short little survey that asks about what do you use it for, how do you feel about it, how many people, how many devices. So we kind of know what that actually looks like to take that out and just do some design studies for those. So just asking everybody to take it, just once.
So what about our other grants? Are they still slowing down? Are they opening them up a little bit for grant access?
I'm seeing a couple new grants coming up for NOCOs. I have not had any problems with getting reimbursements on any of the ones that I work with. I've heard some are a little slower just because of staffing issues on being able to get reimbursements sent back out. But for the most part, it's just kind of catching up to all of that. There's been a lot of changing verbiage and making sure that it avoids specific words that will put it into that review and where they don't belong. Mm-hmm. So like that broadband equity, that word equity, that really came under fire when that had nothing to do with some of the things that they wanted to put the pauses on. So it's just those kind of things, making sure that funders have come back out, they pulled their notices of funding, rewrote them, or just said, no, this isn't going to work for us, and taken some off the table. But I'm seeing a couple coming back in from like the COPS grants and the Justice grants to help out. The bus grants are going, so I'm seeing things starting to ramp back up again.
Okay.
They're much more competitive because there's less funding, and they're being very conservative. So I think things are going to get competitive again for a while, and maybe permanently. I don't know what that will look like.
After the end of this meeting, I need to meet with you for a few minutes on the grant, pick your brain.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. No other any public comment regarding the 3 departments here?
I just had one question, because I thought I was going to Randy about the petition wall. You guys had talked about
Mm-hmm.
it going out again. Is it any place on that?
I got one guy came back to me so far. I haven't heard anything else from them too.
Thanks for bringing that up.
It's a weekly call. I think everybody's busy right now. They just, if you know anybody else that you might recommend, let me know. Okay.
Damien will.
Do you have any questions? No? All right. Anything from you, Sydney?
Nope.
No? Anything further from you, Commissioner?
No.
No? All right. Well, thank you for coming. Meeting's adjourned.